I was rescued from the streets. In prison, I read my first book in my life. The only book that I remember as a child was James and the Giant Peach and Curious George. And I think I love James and Giant Peach because we never had peaches growing up because we couldn't afford them. Every now and then we got a peach. If we went somewhere, maybe at a dental office and they had some peaches, I grabbed as many as I can and put it in my pocket. Maybe it was the juice from that peach in that book that interests me in Curious George because I always was curious. I was one of those kids who took the radio apart as a kid because I thought people was in there. I was one of those kids who, yes, I was one of those kids that asked every question. How does this work? Why is this? How come they said that? I was one of the kids that everybody told to be quiet. You talk too much. Who couldn't talk when he was in the car. Who got held over after school because I was talking too much in class. Today, I get paid to talk. No one saw that strength in me. My God. There's no script to this. This is from the heart. Because I've been there and I've experienced it and I figured out the secret. I figured out the roadmap when I was in prison. The first book I ever read was called Black Men, Obsolete, Single, Dangerous. And this book allowed me to love myself. It allowed me to love my community. It allowed me to understand history, culture, science, politics, current events. I begin to watch 60 Minutes, 2020, Primetime Live, USA Today like I have what I brought out here, Wall Street Journal, McNeil NewsHour. When I was in prison, I was part of Toastmasters International. We had a Toastmasters chapter, eventually became the Sergeant of Arms, co-founded a think tank in prison with the brightest minds in prison. I was very fortunate to have gone to the federal system where you had CEOs of corporations, Wall Street business moguls in there for insider trading, very, very wealthy, brilliant minds. So what did I do? I jacked them. I call myself an intellectual jacker because when I was on the street, I always gravitated to people who were smarter than me. When I was in prison, I hung around the smart guys who taught business classes, marketing, public relations, all these different things. And as I began to read and study and go to school, which took me 3.5 years to earn my GED in prison, so I do have a GED and an AB, adult basic education. I earned 37 certificates and awards in prison for all my accomplishments. You guys proud of me? Thank you. I have to say that because I'm still childlike in many, many ways. Because there's still that little boy in me who never had those experiences in life. And I truly believe if my father was there for me, and he understood that, and my mother, I would have never have gone to prison. I hate to get emotional, but it's real. It's real. And I see it in these young kids, the gang members, the drug dealers. They're brilliant. They have so much potential, but that's all they know. When you don't know, you have to survive. When you don't have food, your mother's on drugs, your father's in prison, what are you going to do? But you don't see the impact that it has on the generations. This is why you guys are dealing with a generation of killers today. Kids who come attack teachers. That was unheard of in my era. That was unheard of, the disrespect of young people today. It was unheard of. So throughout my years in prison, I found myself. I found my purpose. I found one of many callings. I learned to cook in prison. And for the first time in my life, I was told that I was smart and I had potential and I was praised for something good was my food.